I'm gonna make this real brief. I don't need no introduction, no music introduction this time. This is gonna be real brief because the conscious community is wacko, a bunch of liars, and disingenuous just on basic information. If they can't fit into being Egyptian, they will lie, cheat, and steal to try to fit in to North Africa. So this will probably be a quick 15 minutes. Now, 2 years ago, I began to tell everybody, especially on Facebook, that I'm not no Mediterranean nigga, I would say. And people would just laugh and think I'm joking. I said, I'm damn serious. I said, Egyptians are Mediterranean people. Oh, no, Chief, it's an African culture. Yes, it's an African culture, but to be too specific, you say North African and be clear. North Africa is not Black Africa, never has been. Now, is Egypt a Mediterranean culture, a Mediterranean country, a Mediterranean society? Whatever word you want to fucking use, it is that. So 2 years ago, when I began to tell these people in the Amin Ra squad and stuff and all these Egyptomaniacs who would be claiming some kind of descent from Africa, it looks like, let me see. It looked like my reception was low for a minute. Yeah, Donnie, good. They should shut down the Happy Conference. It's bullshit. I made a video about that. Okay? Now, I think my reception came back up. So here's the thing. 2 years ago, I say, hey, I'm not no damn Mediterranean. You niggas not gonna make me no Mediterranean. I'm a sub-Saharan African. I'm a tropical African. Don't try to make me something I'm not. And I would say, you niggas ain't Egyptians, you niggas not no Mediterranean. Now, what's been happening over the last year is people are trying to dispel and act like there's no such thing as a Mediterranean culture. They have to do that to fit themselves in Egypt or in North Africa because they've been exposed. Because everyone knows when you say Mediterranean people, they know automatically that's not me. So since they want to say that's not me, which it isn't, they have to knock the fact that there are places in countries and societies and cultures called Mediterranean. And Egypt is a Mediterranean culture. It's a Mediterranean society. It's a Mediterranean country because it borders the Mediterranean Sea. Just the same as Greece, Rome, and all of North Africa. So niggas know, Black Americans in the conscious community knows that they're not Mediterranean people. So since they're not Mediterranean people, they have to knock and act like there's no such thing as Mediterranean people or Mediterranean culture. And they have to remove Egypt from being a Mediterranean culture so they can say it's an African culture and equate it with Nubia in the South and all this old bullshit mental gymnastics that they do. Okay? Let's be clear. Prove it, Chief X. Prove that Egypt is a Mediterranean culture. I don't even know why I have to do this. This is basic fucking knowledge and basic common sense. But Afrocentrics are so deceitful. People like Ankh, this nigga Haskell. It's so deceitful they got to lie to try to fit themselves in. Richard T. said, why won't both sides just set up a formal debate with moderators and a time limit, or they don't want to debate? Richard T., you must not have been watching my videos. You must not have watched my Black Egypt Debunked 7 months ago. And all year long, all up and down my timeline, I've offered anyone $300 for a 2-hour debate or discussion on this. Everybody turned it down because they're scared, they fear me, and they're shaking in their boots. Period. No Egyptomaniac, none of these fake-ass Black American Egyptomaniacs want to take that debate because they're not confident and they know they've been lying. They will never, ever take that debate. I've been offering money for it, and they don't want it. Okay, so they're scared. Just say, everyone's scared of Chief X. Repeat after me. Okay, prove it, Chief X. Okay, let's go. Egypt, right here. Egypt. It's a transcontinental country, spanning northeast corner of Africa, the southwest corner of Asia, by a land bridge formed by the Sinai Peninsula. Now let me scroll down. Egypt, can you see? Oops, where am I at? Okay. Egypt's long and rich cultural heritage is an integral part of its national identity, which reflects its unique transcontinental location, being simultaneously Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, and what? North African. Don't let nobody tell you it's just an African civilization. If they're not saying North African, they're trying to deceive you and bullshit your mind. There's a difference in North Africa and South Africa. It's a total difference. It's a difference in North Africa and West Africa. It's a difference between North Africa and East Africa. Africa is a continent, not a country. Okay? So as we see here, Egypt is simultaneously a Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, and North African. It is a Mediterranean society, culture, and country. Let's move on. The Mediterranean, marine and coastal environment. Egypt, right here, I have highlighted, is one of those Mediterranean countries, societies, and cultures. Okay, let's move on. The history of the Mediterranean region. The history of the Mediterranean region and of the cultures and people of the Mediterranean basin is important for understanding the origin and development of the Mesopotamian, Egyptian, Canaanite, Phoenician, Hebrew, Carthaginian, Greek, Persian, Thracian, Etruscan, Iberian, Roman, Byzantine, Bulgarian, Arab, Berber, Ottoman, Christian, Islamic cultures. The Mediterranean Sea was the cultural superhighway of transport, trade, and cultural exchange between diverse peoples encompassing 3 continents: West Asia, North Africa, not Sub-Saharan Africa, not East Africa, not South Africa, but North Africa, Western Asia, North Africa, and Southern Europe. Black Americans, West Africans, Central Africans, you are not Mediterranean people. meaning you're not related in any way to North Africa or Egypt. We've removed you, and you're crying about it. You're crying because you have to remove the Mediterranean because it doesn't fit your fake-ass narrative of being related to ancient Egypt. So when I was saying, and people are mad at me for saying I'm not Mediterranean, and I was telling the truth, they wanted me to be Mediterranean and Egyptian so bad. Okay? List of Mediterranean countries or cultures or societies. The Mediterranean countries are those that surround what? The Mediterranean Sea. Western Central Africa does not surround the Mediterranean Sea. Nubia does not surround the Mediterranean Sea. Ethiopia, none of them countries surround the Mediterranean Sea. Egypt does. North Africa does. You're not a Mediterranean people. Egyptians are a Mediterranean culture and a Mediterranean people. Okay? Get over it. The Mediterranean countries are those that surround the Mediterranean Sea. 20 sovereign countries in Southern Europe, the Levant, and North Africa. Not all of Africa, just North Africa. Regions border the sea itself, in addition to 2 islands, nations completely located in it, Malta and Cyprus. While not having a coastline in the Mediterranean, Portugal. Okay. Such classifications, they talk about Mediterranean, such classifications is mostly based on what? Their geographical, economic, geopolitical, historical, ethnic, and what? Cultural ties to the region as a whole. Their cultural ties along the Mediterranean Sea and amongst Mediterranean people, not you guys. You guys are not related to the ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians were a Mediterranean culture, period. Okay, so Mediterranean countries. Such classification is mostly based on their geographical, economic, geopolitical, historical, ethnic, and cultural ties to the region as a whole. And when they say ethnic and cultural, they're talking about language, art, music, and cuisine. Because Greek food is Mediterranean food. Egyptian food is Mediterranean food. You understand? Here goes the list of countries that are Mediterranean cultures, Mediterranean societies, and Mediterranean countries, okay? Below is a list of countries and territories bordering the Mediterranean, okay? On the southern European coast, here they go. On the Levantine coast, from north to south, here they go. On the North African coast, from east to west, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco, which are all what? North African coast and North African countries from east to west. Okay? So all these liars telling you there's no such thing as a Mediterranean culture or Mediterranean societies or Mediterranean countries are fucking liars because they're mad that they're not Mediterranean people. And when you talk about Mediterranean cultures, you remove Egypt from being a African civilization per se. You have to say North African. And Black Americans do not like you to say North African because they're not a part of North Africa. Genetically, linguistically, culturally, in any kind of way at all. Black Americans are not part of North African culture. They don't descend from North African culture or none of that. So they don't like Mediterranean word. Okay? I mean, what else can you say? The facts is right here. Egyptian is in the Mediterranean basin. All the trade and travel and everything jumped off because of what? Let me just go back up here. Jumped off because Egypt is a transcontinental country, meaning it connects with West Asia, the Levant, the Mediterranean Sea, and North Africa. It's transcontinental country. Do not listen to none of these niggas acting like Egypt is not a Mediterranean culture. It fucking is. Let me read some of these comments. You say Canadian Egyptian? I did a DNA test and I am 83% North African, and yet they still calling me Arabian invader. They crazy, Canadian Egyptian. You watched the Egypt versus Senegal soccer game? No, I didn't, but I heard Senegal spanked that ass. But West Africa got some nice soccer teams. They've always had nice soccer teams, right? When I went to Ghana, we driving down on our tourist bus. Every field is a bunch of kids playing soccer. Past that, bunch of kids playing soccer. They love soccer in West Africa. Senegal did a great game, and they are my favorite team after the Egyptian team. Keep teaching these Egyptomaniacs, Chief. If you take Egypt from them, most of them will have to get a job. That's the money cow call. That's the money cow. The Hotep hustle. You remember, like people like Reggie, Dr. Reggie, Brother Reggie, fake Dr. Reggie, Brother Reggie, Sinetta TV. If you take Egypt from him, he's lost. He knows nothing else. All he can do is call on old scholars who's passed away. He's lost. You take Egypt from some of these cats, they are lost. They can't brag about whose feet they sat under. I sat at the feet of such and such. And so what? I sat at the feet of my daddy and my grandpa. So? Okay. I'm Asiatic black man, Lee Chu says. Dr. Solange, a real Egyptologist, though. Okay. People, I don't know about that. She has a degree in Egyptology. I'll have to check that out, Donnie. Now, unless you've seen that degree, don't believe it. And if she is a real Egyptology, she's a deceitful one if she's siding with Afrocentrics. Just put it that way. No real Egyptologist that's working in any of these universities in America that's employed, I'm talking about. See, these niggas ain't employed at universities. Any black man employed at a university who's an Egyptologist would never be at this fucking conference. Messing with a bunch of liars and frauds. They got a job and they got some people have licenses and some people have credentials that can be taken from them if they out here bullshitting, right? Somebody, Lee Chu said Sarah Suden said he would destroy Chief X. Are you kidding me? Sarah Suden said he fears me and won't mention my goddamn name. Sarah Suden said he puts on picture shows and talks over pictures. He's never, ever, ever put up any scholarship. He's never put up anything like this where you can read and prove what the fuck he's saying. I'm putting up shit where you can read and prove what I'm saying. Literature. I'm not putting up pictures and talking over them. That's what Sabra Sutin said he does. And he will never, ever, 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 ever put up any scholarship or literature backing anything he says because he can't. He can only mislead gullible people or naive people or young bucks or groupies and newbies. He can't deceive grown-ass men like me who's been around just as long as him. I know him. He can't pull that small-time junk over on real grown folk who's not naive and gullible. Gogodo said, all respect to your integrity and pride, Mr. Chief X. Thank you. Said he don't run to the white man, all black scholars. The only black scholars said he used is these same 5 motherfucking elders who's been lying to him. He's never used no real scholars. Ashraf Kwesi is not a scholar. He has no degree in any of this. Okay? Dr. Ben doesn't have a degree in any of this. So be careful who you call a scholar. African Americans hijacking Berber culture. Basically, they hijacking Berber culture, North African culture, and lying. It's a gateway to trade. Yep. The Mediterranean Sea and those transcontinental countries were trading and doing business and thriving all around with each other. Okay? A Nubianologist. Would you say, Anson Paul? Peace, Chief. I copped the Audi A6 too. Well, I had an Audi A6. I liked the Audi A6, but I have an Audi A7 right now, and I love the hell out of that Audi. I have the Prestige, Audi A7 Prestige, which is the top of the line Audi A7. But I love that Audi A7. That motherfucker is quick. It feel like it's accident proof. Like I could just let go of the wheel and just put my feet on the gas and just roll, and it'll stop me from accidents. It'll warn. That's what it feel like. Oh man, Indigenous black man, peace. Yeah. So if you didn't catch this from the beginning, roll this motherfucker back to the beginning. Okay. I just wanted to prove that Egypt is a Mediterranean culture, it's a Mediterranean country, it's a Mediterranean society, and they have Mediterranean food. So, once you lay down this Mediterranean thing, it pisses Afrocentrics off because they know they can't be Mediterranean people. So, in order to save Egypt and you know what I mean? They got, oh my God, fuck the Mediterranean. There's no such thing as Mediterranean. It's deeply African, not North African, African. So they got to relate it to Nubia and South and West Africa and Central Africa, but they can't do that if they admit Egypt is Mediterranean. You get what I'm saying? Don't forget the mob culture as well. I'm not sure what the mob culture is. I think people have different slang. Yeah, Seti been shook. Well, you know, Seti is like a person who was a good entertainer, and people gravitated to him for his entertaining ways and his passion. And we was like, yeah, Black Power. And we was like, yeah. But we evolved past a lot of that talk and shit and hype and shit. That's when people get caught up in entertainment. See, real scholarship, people don't pay attention to real scholars because they're boring. You know what I mean? So Seti, years ago, once we began to get into science, which he's anti-science. He's just strictly history. But once we started pushing science, said he fell behind and he didn't want that to go down. So he's against like evolution and shit. He's in denial about evolution. He doesn't believe in evolution. But in the same breath, he'll always say Neanderthals. I'm like, like how can you consider someone smart saying I don't believe in evolution, but in the next breath say, oh, these motherfucking Neanderthals and shit like that, these motherfucking Neanderthals. That's like crazy shit. You can't even follow nobody or listen to anyone who double talks like that and is that confused. So yeah, once we start getting into science, SETI fell off and disconnected himself from the other brothers and grown men, and he dealt with young Pharaoh and children. That's why I said I'm a grown-ass man. I've been around and been doing this. So SETI don't fuck with grown-ass man who's been down in the movement and in the game a long time. He has to fuck with the little kids and the newbies. Because his peers, grown men like me and stuff, don't respect him. He's disrespected everybody. And he teach a bunch of pseudoscience. Sarasun Seti pushes pseudoscience. He's not a science guy. He's anti-science. Okay? So he's way behind. I wouldn't even waste my time with that fucking newbie elementary bullshit he talk. All right, so I just wanted to prove that there is a Mediterranean culture and people and country and society, and Egypt is one of those. So what made me do this video, because Pseudo Killers was having a discussion, and they sat here and argued about Mediterranean and or not for a whole fucking hour, where you can just fucking easily look up the definition of a Mediterranean, the history of the Mediterranean. You can easily look up the list of Mediterranean cultures. You can easily look up Egypt and what it's under, who they traded with and done business with all along the Mediterranean. Okay? You can easily see that the fucking Sphinx, the pyramid of Djoser, and the pyramid of Giza, the big pyramids, is all along the coast of Egypt, close to the Mediterranean Sea in Cairo. It's not in southern Egypt. The oldest structures, the oldest three structures. Listen to what I'm telling you. Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. I'm just sitting here talking. Hold on real quick. There we go. You can easily see Egypt is a transcontinental country. You can see it's Mediterranean. Here's an article on that. History of the Mediterranean. You can just easily look up this bullshit. You can easily look up list of Mediterranean countries. It's just so fucking easy. It's elementary. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? No, I don't get it. These Negroes will lie until the casket drop because they want to be Egyptians that bad. And they just embarrassing us. Okay? So I just wanted to make this real brief. Damn, I ended up being 29 seconds. I wanted to be 15 minutes. Excuse me, 29 minutes. I wanted to be 15 minutes. All right, I'm out, y'all. Shut these cats up. They're not Mediterranean. African Americans are not Mediterranean people.